there, testing, it's Susan at Seaside Stitches. Just welcome to my channel. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. I thought I'm just going to do a little bit of a different kind of a video, and really that's kind of highlighted in how I'm dressed today. So usually you will probably see me in fit and flare outfit or something of colour, and I don't think you see me in plain very often. Now it's been really cold. I know you'll be fed up if you're in a warm area, or if you're not in the UK, you'll be fed up of us whinging on about, oh, it's so cold, but it's been really cold. So I have been resorting to my favoured kind of outfit. I just had to nip to Sainsbury's. Other supermarkets are available, and possibly preferable, but it's very near to me. So I had to nip to Sainsbury's just for some little bits of things. And I wanted just to have a little walk around our estate when I came back, and that's why I put my hair up, because it's not windy, but it's threatening drizzle, and once my hair is wet, if you've known me before, my hair stands out a bit like Hagrid, so I just tied it up. So anyway, what I wanted to share with you is, apart from my Harper cardigan, which when we called at our grandson's, when we called it at family last week, my grandson said, I said, oh, it's chilly, I'm putting my cardigan on. And he went, you wear that every day, don't you, Grandma? And I said, well, I don't wear it every day, but I think I have brought it down and worn it every time I've come. But this is my tried and tested and true, and I just love the shape of this on me. Now, it goes back to, it's not the right colour, it wasn't the colour I thought I ordered. I wanted it very vibrant royal blue, and it's more of a denim blue. I don't know how it comes over on the screen, but it's more of a denim blue. But that means it matches very well with my skirt. Now I'll have to put some pictures in, because you've not got the full length of me on here, but I wanted to share with you. When I was going through the Sew Your Own Style process with Sarah from Sew Your Own Style, from Handmade Wardrobes, she was talking about putting on your me-made, your ready-made, all your outfits, all your going through your wardrobe, doing an assessment of what you like, what you don't like. And it was really useful for me. I'd mentioned it before, but it was really useful. And one of the things I realised was, this is my standard kind of silhouette that I really enjoy wearing. Now, I've not exactly been in this kind of silhouette shape for a while, and the denim skirt that I do have is a little bit longer. It's, well, it now hangs off me a bit, and it's midi definitely, but it's quite straight. It's a narrow A-line skirt, and I like the skirt, and I've had it for years, but it wasn't suiting me, not necessarily suiting me to look at, but I wasn't feeling great in it because it was the wrong length. And in looking at those kind of things, that helped me to look at what gaps I've got in my wardrobe, and that's the kind of main point of it, and probably looking at, therefore, what can I make to make sure that I've got less gaps in my wardrobe, or the things that I'm making fulfill those gaps in my wardrobe. And what I decided was, I've just not got round to finishing a skirt, the skirts that I was making at the time, and the skirt that I wanted to make hasn't been finished, and so I allowed myself to buy this skirt, and I'm so pleased that I did. It's from Roman, which is just really a fast food. It's a fast fashion outlet that is for not usually teenagers, women of a certain age, whatever age that be, if you shop at Roman. And I just really liked, I tried it on, and I really liked the shape it gave me and the usefulness it would be. Now, I had got rid of some jeans. That's another part of the story of me not being able to wear trousers for, I don't know, 12 or 13 years, but I hadn't been able to get rid of them. But I did have one pair of jeans that still had the belt with it. And so I got rid of the jeans, because I'm not going to wear them anymore, am I? If they've not been there for 12 years and I've not been able to wear them, and I'm not going to get any better so that I can wear them, then that they've gone, and I've kept the belt. But so the belt has been useful. This skirt it doesn't need the belt on to stay up, but it does, it's got some stretch in the denim, so really it can get lower and lower, but it doesn't normally slip lower and lower. I just keep it in position. It just sits. It sits where it needs to sit, and I really like it where it sits. And I have since bought a black one. And this is the standard acrylic polo neck that I've got. I've got more than a dozen of these, all in different colours, different ages, from M&S usually, BHS, whatever. I don't think I've got any going back as far as C&A, but I have got quite a few of them. Matalan, anywhere really. And they make up my staple wardrobe. So the plain, they're all, I think I've got a striped one, a couple of striped ones, but otherwise they make up normally with a pattern skirt that I've got. They can make up an outfit very readily. And yeah, so I'm just kind of sharing that with you really, and that I do love my Harper cardigan, this particular Harper cardigan, because it's got the pockets and the long sleeves. And I have sworn myself to the determination of putting on the pockets on the yellow one. Now, I don't wear the yellow one as often because it's not because it's bright yellow. I love the colour of it, but it's light and it attracts my messiness. The first time I wore it, I was putting my mascara on in the mirror, and I didn't drop the wand, thankfully, but a flick of, you know, sometimes you get a bit of stuff that builds up on your mascara wand, and it flicked onto the side of the thing and of just into there. And I was like, how on earth am I going to get that off? I don't rub it, I have to flick it. How am I going to do it? And there's just that. I managed to get it off, and I later washed it, but you can still see where it was. I know not many people would be going, oh, is that a mark from some mascara? But I'm very conscious, like I don't, if I'm sitting down having some tomato soup, I'm not going to sit there in my yellow alpha cardigan. In just checking the camera, I just realised that this is on the hook. I've done no more to it. For those who followed me, I can't remember the name of it now, the number of it, I'll write it on the bottom, but it was it's a shirt, top or whatever, and it's from a Know Me pattern, and I was wanting to get it done by the end of April. It's now mid-July. There's no urgency for it at all now, so it just needs its collar, but it needs bits and pieces doing. It's had clips on it, and it just to hold it back until I've pressed it, and I still haven't pressed it. So I've took the clips off today, realising that they're just making dents in it. So, but it needs this facing. I can't remember if it needs top stitching. I don't think no, it doesn't need top stitching. It just needs pressing, and then this. Let me show you. The facing, the front facing needs to be turned under and hand sewn. Don't know if you can see that, and hand sewn to the top of the shoulder seam. So that's what needs happening on both sides, and then it's a case of putting the collar on. But as I say, I'm not in any rush, and we're doing this decluttering, and we're doing part packing things away because we need to have the house valued. And so I'm going through my sewing room as what's immediately necessary to finish. Is it going to wait? Is it not? And so things that are going to take maybe about 3 hours or something like that, they're kind of on the list to have a go at finishing and seeing if that's what I want to do. So I just got this, I just moved it from one place to another and it ended up being put up here. But I'm quite pleased it is here, because it reminds me that I haven't shown it you in a bit, and nothing has changed from it really. So I'm just gonna, I'll just pop that up there, but it also, I'll knock something off. But it's also made me realise that you couldn't see what I was showing you. So I'm gonna lower the camera now, but when I'm speaking into it, I don't like looking down in it. And yeah, that's just it. So I'm going to swivel it so that you can see my outfit more in the long, if you like, and also show you something else that's going to move shortly. So this is my little scissors organizer, or whatever it is, a scrappy organizer. But this is bits and bobs on it already. It's been all over. This has just been hanging about in this room for a long time. I made it for the door that goes into our kitchen. That's a half glass door, just to stop people looking in, or just to give more privacy to that area. And I was so pleased with it. It's the first thing I'd ever patchworked or quilted or anything. I did the back with, well, to make something up for the back, which can be seen through the through the glass. But I did, because that door had never been painted and it needed painting before this went up on it, I used this over the front door, which has a window in it. And in doing that, this has bleached itself with the sun, which is fine, because I've no worry about that. I can see that from the kitchen side, but there's only me looking at that, and it's not offensive to me at all. It just shows the life of the quilt, really. And so it's a wall hanging, really, if you like. But I'm delighted to say that Alan has finished. I think it's 2 years since I started putting the different coats on the hall side, but Alan has finished doing the back side of it and the back side of it, and has now glossed it all. So that will be going in its rightful place once we get the hooks on, which could only be stuck on, you see, if it had been glossed, because it doesn't really matter. So that's that bit. So this, I don't know how much you can see of this, but what I've decided to do is check all the tops that I've got, whether or not they go with this kind of shaped low-waisted skirt. As I say, a plain skirt as well. And so which tops I've got, which pattern tops I've got, which plain tops I've got. And obviously I know all about which acrylic polo necks I've got. But it's looking at what of the mamie maids have I got, and also what gaps I've got. So if I'm not wearing this, I like to wear 3 things. I've mentioned this before. So, and I bought this. I love this necklace. I've had it for ages and ages, well before I started sewing again. The buttons on it didn't have anything to do with me liking sewing. I just liked the necklace, the beads. Bought it from Hale in Cornwall, like I say, years ago. And it's just getting faded on little bits of it anyway, but I really like it. So I like 3 things. So I would normally use possibly a waistcoat with this. Haven't got one to put on the downstairs in my other wardrobe. So if I'm not using a cardi, I would like a waistcoat. Occasionally I'll just use a scarf, but it's not quite the same thing. So I don't particularly feel like it's an outfit if it's just a jumper and skirt. Whether the jumper's in or out, it makes no difference to me. But that to me isn't an outfit. It's fine. I can go about my business inside. I can do whatever I want. I can do anything. It's fine. I'm not offended by it. I can go out to the shops. I can go out somewhere. It isn't offensive to me. It's just not, I'm not fully dressed. I'm not fully representing who I am. So if I've got a little jacket or something, that's fine. So I just kind of I've been refreshing myself in how I wear my clothes, what my style is, And what I've realised is I would like to have some shirts. So this shirt would be perfect to go with this outfit without the top on, or without the jumper underneath, but maybe a t-shirt underneath or a cami underneath or something, or just this and one of my navy waistcoat or something like that. Except that this now is too big. It was too big when I made it, but I was so thrilled that I'd made a blouse, a button-down blouse with a collar, with half a collar really. It's kind of a shawl collar that just turns back on itself. And I did the cuffs, and I was just so thrilled. It took me about 2 years to get around to finishing the damn thing off. And it's nice and fitted at the back. But I chose a size 16, which was too big for me anyway in a lot of places. As I say, I'm quite shallow here. And I did lower the bust dart, and I've got a decent fit in a way. It's just too big. It's too big on it. But it's not one that I'm going to alter. So although I like it, and it's just in a polyester, a poly cotton, which was about £3 a metre. They had it at the local fabric shop. They had it in Abercarn. I can't remember which one I ended up, but I loved it because it was the Seaside stitches. Seaside. This one I've got a photo of somewhere that I took recently while I was doing this checking on things, and this now fits me how I love a shirt to fit me. So I'm talking, I'm a 70s girl. I'm 71, but my time was really the late 60s and the 70s, and I hark back to that quite a lot. And I was doing secretarial work before I started my nursing. I worked in offices. It's a Next, but I love their office shirts, and this one fits me particularly well. Now, a lot of them now, I can't get my arms in them. Well, I don't have them anymore, and I don't have them because I can't get my arms in them, because with the extended floppy biceps, that's kind of what happens. But I got this out and I tried it on, and it is a lovely fit. Okay, so I'm still working on Sew Your Own Style, and this, I just want to share this with you. I saved this, I don't know, from many years ago, quite a few years ago anyway, and it's gone through periods where I just could not get it on. My arms were too big for it, or its arms were too small for me. I don't need to go into all that, but this is the kind of fit that I want from my clothes. So I've just tried this on today as I'm going through my wardrobe looking at tops. Yes, the cuffs have always been too wide, but they roll up and there's a strap that goes on there. But the fit on this for me is superb. So it's just got a slight stretch in the fabric. It's kind of maybe cotton poly even, but it's cotton. I'll check what the substrate is, but just the fit under the bust and the gathers and just the tailoring of it. I just love this feeling of the fit of it. So, and if you've got high enough, these sleeves, the shoulders are maybe a little bit farther out than I would do if I'm doing a me-made, but they're perfect really. They're perfect. They do the little thing on the top that I just like, and now I can move my arms. Yes, so this is the fit that I am striving for. Maybe an inch or so ease, but this is the fit that I keep going on and on about. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. And I would love to try and recreate it, but the nearest I'm getting to it is, the nearest that I'm going with is, it's just a New Look Easy 6407. Now, Michelle at Sewing Bunny has a lovely, very in-depth sew along for it. And I've seen it on quite a few people, and I know exactly what fabric I want for it. And fortunately, my birthday is coming up, so I think I'm going to be able to buy that fabric for myself for this blouse, shirt, whatever you want to call it. So I'm really pleased about that, and I want to have a practice. I'm not sure if I'm going to practice on whatever fabric I've got. But I have got some fabrics that I'd picked up at the Northwest Sewing Social, and I've been weighing up. If I'm not going to use these, I need to take them back and reshare them. So there is possibly one that I could use as a practice for this, because I've never used this pattern before, and I don't want to be going into the making assumptions about what size I am. I want to try and get that fit right on something before I start on the fabric that I want to buy myself. We're contemplating a move in the next few months, or sometime this year, hopefully. So we've got a lot of expenses coming out of things. So I'm just trying to balance what I want, what I need, and what I can actually afford. And I know a lot of us are in that kind of situation. So what I'm trying to say is I want to make that blouse. It won't be like this one. Ooh. This one it's fitted under here. It's quite elaborate. It's in a stretch kind of poly. I think there's even nylon in it. It says it won't have a yoke. It isn't some, I'm not doing a recreate the make. It's just given me the idea that I'd like a fitted office shirt, officey kind of shirt. So that's where I'm up to with that. This is another kind of version of a fitted shirt. It's in this again is from Roman. And we have an outlet on the Freeport in Fleetwood. And so sometimes I'll go in and try things to see what suits me, so that I can decide whether or not I'll make something similar or not. But I do like the fit of this on me as well. But it's in that kind of viscose jersey that is really cold when you put it on. Now, I've mentioned before again, I am Princess in the Pea, so I'm very sensitive. I'm sensitive to whether things are smooth or not, or whether things are feel coarse against my skin, but also temperature wise. This kind of attracts coldness. So if there's coldness in the air, it's going to come onto this and it'll be on my arms, and I'm not good with coldness. But when I tried it on in the shop, it was fine, and the style of it suits me. And again, I'm keeping that to one side for inspiration, really. And this is a bit more similar to this in this one on the pattern, but obviously this is a jersey one. So yeah, I'm just looking at different things. And one of the things I've been going to make for a while with some fabric that I had bought, I think it's almost 2 years ago. It's definitely over a year ago when I bought it. And it is from the Sewing Institute at Lytham. And it's a beautiful, she said Lucy said it's a viscose poplin. It's kind of got, not poplin, sateen poplin. No, it's a viscose poplin. So it's got a really lovely, it's got a lovely drape about it. And it's just a lovely smooth finish. And I just really love it. I love the fabric. I love the pattern on it. I love the drape of it. And I have cut myself out the all-in easy fit shirt, which I have been going to make since it came out, really, because the basis of it, the top, is very similarly made to the Pattern Emporium Take the Chance dress, of which I've made 3 now. Last time I videoed, I talked about all my last one had to have was the buttons on, hem, and the sleeves are on. And the sleeves are on, everything else is done, but I haven't decided what length I want the sleeves. It's only going to be a short sleeve, and I've extended the top of the sleeve cap on the pattern so that I could have just a little gather. I don't like that kind of a drop sleeve thing on a shirt, but that's what I'm going to be doing with the easy fit shirt, but it's a different thing altogether. But when it's a dress, I like, and it's going out gathered here, I wanted the gather on the top of the, what of those, your arms, shoulders. So I'm really pleased with this. It's coming along nicely. I'm not rushing with it. In terms of life, Alan has been poorly this last few days. We had a problem with the washing machine that we couldn't remember whether it was still under guarantee, and we bought it in October, it turns out, but until I'd found the details from it, we were panicking about it, and it just wouldn't drain, and it was a nightmare. And because we didn't know whether it was still under guarantee, we started draining it ourselves, which was kneeling on the floor, draining it into trays, dabbing that up with table mats as it happened, rinsing them out, wringing them out, and then putting them on again. And so we were up and down off the floor, and it was just, it took hours to get it below the line, which we thought it would then open, but it wouldn't. There was still too much in it. So in discovering that it was under warranty, I then spent several, I would say, hours, definitely a 35-minute phone call, or hanging on for part of that phone call to arrange a repair. Had to give up on that one. Managed to do it online, got all the reference numbers so that when someone rang me the day after, when someone rang me the day after, all I needed to do was give them a reference number, which would include telling them what the serial number was, the model number, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. When I got through to this person, well, the person rang me, and they gave me all the blurb and the blurb and the blurb and more blurb when I was on for ages, and then wanted to know what the serial number was and what the model number was and what the, like, what hip size are you? Which school did you go to? Not exactly all that, but just, it was maddening because I'd made arrangements to meet my friend in the garden centre. I'd elected that time because I knew I could just pop out and answer the phone and arrange the date, which is all I thought they were going to do. But no, it kept me on for about 20 to 25 minutes, and I was just getting a little bit frayed at the edges. And then the day after, Alan went out to meet his friend near where we used to live, and while he's over there in Walton Dale, they have a Waitrose, and he likes the vegetarian wieners, and I don't think they call that, great big hot dog sausages. And so he goes there when he's running out of wieners, and then he meets Dave, and they have a good natter and a catch up and whatever somewhere nearby in Dunelm Cafe or something like that. But he found that he got to Waitrose and he could hardly get out of the car, and his back had gone. So it was a delayed reaction to all the moving and trying to get yourself up off the floor and all that kind of stuff. And when his back goes, it goes for quite a few days, and we know all the things you do to it. He's had chiropractor, all the kind of stuff you get if you're prone to a bad back. He was a postman for 11 years or more, and at that time, well, they still do it, don't they? Really heavy sacks and what have you. And he has scoliosis of his spine, so we're not going into that. But then the medication that he was having to relieve the inflammation gave him indigestion, and then he was poorly all day yesterday, and then, oh yes, so it's all been, and then he couldn't sleep, could he, because he couldn't get comfortable. So it's been a couple of days really. So I was saying, I've not been doing anything rushed or anything because just because really I didn't need to, and we just spent some quality time together, and I can't say I had to look after him, like nurse him or whatever, but we were just taking the time anyway. So what I just thought I would do now, because I'm waffling on, is show you just as I've put the back and the front of the blouse together at the shoulders, nothing else. So I thought I would just show you my start off with the Easy Fit shirt. Now, I did just mention quickly before, I bought another one of these in black. So I don't actually know what you can see. That one's pushing me away because that's got my going to the sewing social stuff in it. So this is just, I'm really happy with this. I'm really, really happy with this. Now this hasn't been prepared for the collar yet. I jumped the gun and I wanted to do the burrito. I follow whatever she's called, Karina at Lifting Pins and Needles, and she takes you through the burrito bit, but I'd skipped on a bit to the burrito bit before I did. You turn that bit under, then you turn that other bit under, and you do your guide stitch, you turn that other bit under, then you do the thing, then you turn it back, then you cut the thing, da-da-da. So I've not done the thing, and the thing, and I will talk more about it when I've got further along with it. So you kind of get the idea. But I think this is just, it would be lovely and swingy whether I have something under it or not. I mean, I'll have something under it, but you know what I mean? Whether I have it open on top of a t-shirt or something like that, and it does, you won't get the full thing, but it does that. You've got quite a low curve at the bottom, and I'm just really looking forward to it. It reminds me of a top that I had in the 80s that was quite loose, and I used to wear it over a red silky polo neck. I loved that shirt. It was just all black background but loads of, I don't know, what are them? Just squiggles on it, all in kind of vibrant colours. So I'm just really pleased with this, and it'll come together when I get around to bringing it together, really, because yesterday I wasn't really up to. I've been watching videos on how to put it together and how to do the little what do you call the thing up the cuff. I've cut this ready to do the binding, the bound placket, yes. So I'd read up on it to remind me how to do it, but I just didn't feel like doing it yesterday. So I decided, I've got all my pieces with interfacing on and stuff. Everything's ready apart from I can't find exactly what I want from the pattern to put the collar piece on. I've got the under collar piece, but I haven't done the outer collar piece. So I'm just jumping about a bit here, but what I was trying to say was, so when I came up yesterday, I was pleased with it. I hung it on my model just to kind of give a bit of vibrancy to the room, and then I started sorting out a cupboard and a box that had all my jersey fabric and some jersey scraps, like 1 metre or 3/4 of a metre scraps. So I'll talk to you about that another time. So in here I've got things that have already been started or cut or just married together with a pattern. That's a style arc dress that I was doing. I've done for that. I've cut out the top parts, and I've done the shirt bit for the waist, which I did on a shirring course. And they are, what do you call those things, toiles for things. And this is just storing fabric and things that have started to happen. So this is a Yasmin dress that I cut out a while ago. I've done a little bit of work on it sometime last September or something. Not much more since then. I've had it out, looked at, am I going to progress with it? Yes, I am. And so I've re-sorted that and laid it neat. This is going to be a True Bias Nico top. I've got quite a few ideas that go with that would go with. So that's that. This is just bedding for when the children come. And then this, I went through all this. These are most of my jersey fabric, my thicker jersey fabric. I do have some other cotton jersey, viscose jersey. I've got 3 or 4 dress lengths of that in one of my drawers. These you'll have seen a lot of. I've just not got round to making them. I couldn't make decisions. Was going to be a Fraser cardigan, ponte, more winter weight things, and t-shirt fabric. This is some that's left over from when I made the orage top, and yeah, so it's just all, I've just neatened things up. I know where things are. That's the main thing. This is they were from some fat quarters that I started putting some strips together. I've got some plans for those, just more for crafting and things like that. And then this again is the fabric that I got that I was making the tessuti top, which I still think will be on part of my main 9. I did this and I put the pockets in. It has a band across and straps. I did that, but then I couldn't get it on or off without really struggling because it's no fastener at the back. I found a pattern that does a similar thing, but it does have how to fasten it at the back. The one I'm making isn't gathered, but it's still the top, the band at the top, 2 straps, and then I'll enlarge the picture because you won't see it, but it does have a fastening at the back. So just wanted to adapt that to it, and that's why that's there. That's the tessuti sundress. So it ends up with part of it as a frill on the bottom. There's no rush for it, and it's certainly not going to be for sundressing anyway. It's more of a pinafore for wintry things. So you're kind of up to date now. There'll be a mishmash of things, but I'm just keeping you in the loop really, because because I am. Okay, so I'll narrow this down and I'll be using it as part of several other videos to just talk about style really, and what my plans are, and just wanting to stick with my own Susan style 24. Okay, that's enough for now. Bye for now. I'll see you soon. Thanks ever so much for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel with likes and comments and shares. It's great. Thank you ever so much. Bye for now.